Good morning students, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss some or a few important topics under the paper 1, that is PS EVS 101. You know the name of the paper is Ecology and Ecosystem. So we have already discussed about ecology, what do you mean by ecosystem, what is ecological pyramids. Today we are going to discuss about the marine environment and certain terms which is related to the marine environment. So you have heard of the term that is intertidal zone. So today we are going to study about the topic or discuss about the topic that is intertidal zone. So what is the intertidal zone? Is the area which is exposed between the high tide and the low tide. So you can say a zone in between the high tide and the low tide. So consider if it is a low tide zone, low tide zone, and if it is a high tide zone, so from here to here this area is said to be the intertidal zone, means a zone between the high tide and the low tide. That's why it is said to be the intertidal. Between the two tides we can find out a zone that is said to be the intertidal. दो tide के बीच वाले के zone को क्या बोलते हैं हम? Intertidal zone. And here you can find out the pictures of certain organisms. It may be the algae or it may be flora or the fauna which is found near the intertidal zone. ये ऐसे organism हैं जो कि हम देख सकते हैं in the intertidal zone. These are the organisms which normally occupy the intertidal zone because they have got a certain adaptive character, and because of that they can survive in that zone. Next, coming up to the definition, that is what is intertidal zone. So intertidal zone is a zone between the high tide and the low tide, and this intertidal zone is again divided into four ब्रॉड सेक्शंस, मतलब ये फिर से चार सेक्शन में डिवाइड किया गया है. दैट मे बी दी स्प्लैश जोन, upper intertidal zone, mid intertidal zone and the low intertidal zone. So this is again divided into four zones, and these four zones may be the splash zone, upper intertidal zone, mid intertidal zone and the low intertidal zone. So these are the certain organisms which can be seen under the splash zone, and they have got certain adaptive character that you can find out the crabs. They normally they can be seen in the intertidal zone or the splash zone of the intertidal zone, and these animal normally what they used to do is that they used to bury under the sand, and they had got a capacity to burrow the sand. So these organisms they can survive because they can burrow and they can live inside their hole, or they can withstand this splash. That's why we can find out certain examples like crab, they used to occur in this type of zone. Next is the upper zone. This is a zone where normally you can find out algae are present. So we can find out certain algae as well as certain animals like barnacles. So you can find out certain barnacles, and they are normally attached to the rock, and certain algae which can be easily attached to the rock, they can be present in this type of zone, that is the upper zone. Next is the mid zone. So mid zone, it is dominant in the mid intertidal zones, and you can find out certain examples like crabs or beds can be seen over here. Mussels can be seen. Mollusk, most of the family of the mollusk can be seen here. Tasre, mure, we have already heard about these terms that can be found in this zone, that is the mid zone. And the last, that is low zone. This is the lowest section of this biomes, and it is probably the liveliest. ये एक ऐसा जोन है जहाँ पे नॉर्मली लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म जो है लाइव फॉर्म में हमें देखने को मिल सकता है. And in this zone we can find out certain algae, So we can find out certain sea urchins, even the sponges, even the sea anemones. They can capture the food in from the currents, and the large crabs and small octopus also can be seen in this type of zone. That is the low zone. So here this is sea anemone. This is a picture of a sea urchin. So here this is a picture of an octopus, and this is a crab. This is again shrimps or prawns. You can say that shrimps normally live in this type of zone. So in this way we have seen what are the four different again subdivided intertidal zone. So here in this picture we can find out a intertidal zone. So from here to here we can find out a section, and this is the low tide region. So this is a low tide mark, and this is the high tide. When there is a high tide, the water can reach up to this region. So this is a high tide mark. This is the maximum level to which the water can be reach to the land, and that's why it is said to be the high tide mark, and this is the low tide mark. So the zone between the high tide and low tide is said to be the intertidal zone, and it is said that this zone is richest in the nutrient, and because of this splash you can say that the most of the nutrients they can be brought about by this into this zone. So when you ask how does this intertidal zone look like, so here you can find out a picture of an intertidal zone. So whenever you visit a beach or a sandy beach or the rocky shore, you always see a zone that is this type of zone that is said to be the intertidal zone. Here you can find out a food chain. How does this organism depends on one another, even having a very harsh extreme environment over there, because in the daytime they has to face, or during the low tide they has to face the direct sunlight, less amount of oxygen and no water. But at the same time opposite condition can be seen at the time of high tide. So at the time of high tide there is most or more amount of water, there is no amount of sunlight penetration. Even at the same time you can find out the organism which are present in this zone, they have to live in certain region, or they have to borrow it and then they have to live inside it. So these are the organism which normally lives in this zone, and they have to face the very harsh extreme conditions with the regular tides. So here you can find out the food chain and how they used to survive. You know that the starfish, they normally eat certain algae which is present in that zone, that is the intertidal zone. So the starfish eats on the seaweeds. This again starfish is eaten by the sculpins. Hermit crab again eats the sculpins, and the octopus they eats the hermit crab. So this is the normal food chain, how this organism depends on one another for their food. Coming up to the next topic, that is exclusive economic zone. So it can be abbreviated as EEZ. So EEZ is nothing but an exclusive economic zone. मतलब एक ऐसा जोन होते हैं जहाँ पे हम इकोनॉमिकली उसका बेनिफिट उठा सकते हैं, या फिर कोस्टल रीजन का एक ऐसा जोन जिसे हम इकोनॉमिकल बेनिफिट उठा सकते हैं बाय मीन्स ऑफ फिशिंग. यू नो दैट our India is a peninsular India. Three side is covered with the sea. So here we can find out Bay of Bengal. Here we can find out Arabian Sea, and here we can find out the Indian Ocean. So it is a peninsular India, and that's why here we can make use of this fishing activities over in this zone. So this zone is said to be an exclusive economic zone, but the region is limited. What is the limit? From the coastal region to 200 and nautical miles, 200 and nautical miles is a region to which we can exploit the फिशिंग, और वी कैन एक्सप्लॉयट द रिसोर्सेज. मेरीन रिसोर्स को हमें वहाँ पे एक्सप्लॉयट कर सकते हैं, फिर यूज़ कर सकते हैं. दैट इज़ द बाउंड्री ऑफ द sea. So this region is said to be exclusive economic zone. So under the law of the sea, and EEZ is a सी जोन, एक ऐसा है, EEZ क्या है, एक सी जोन है, over which a state, STAT, state has a special right over the exploitation and use of the marine resources, and it stretches from a seaward edges to the स्टेट्स टेरिटोरियल, मतलब स्टेट के टेरिटोरियल से सी एच तक वो एक स्ट्रेच है टिल 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स, यहाँ से लेकर के 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स तक का रीजन है, उसे हम नॉर्मली क्या बोलते हैं, कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ रीजन. दिस रीजन फ्रॉम टू दी 200 nautical, consider if this is a 200 nautical miles, so this region is said to be the continental shelf, continental shelf. तो ये रीजन को हम एक्सप्लॉइट कर सकते हैं. सो जनरली स्टेट्स दैट इज EEZ एक्सटेंडेड टू अ डिस्टेंस ऑफ 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स, दैट इज 370 किलोमीटर्स तक सी रीजन तक हम क्या कर सकते हैं, एक्सप्लॉइट कर सकते हैं या फिर यूज कर सकते हैं. The next term is migration. What is migration? So in nature there are variety of forces or agencies which tends to transport the seed. हमें पता है सीड का ट्रांसपोर्ट या फिर फ्रूट्स एंड अदर डिस्पोर्स या फिर डायस्पोर्स और स्पोर्स फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर, and there are variety of hurdles that prevent such transfer. नॉर्मली क्या होता है, जब एक नेचुरली जो एक प्लांट होता है, प्लांट का जो सीड्स है वो जमीन पे गिरता है और जमीन पे गिरने के बाद वो न्यू प्लांट में कन्वर्ट होता है. सो this normally it happens, and sometimes you can find out a plant which is 1 or 2 kilometers beyond from the parent plant. So this is happening only because of the migration. What is migration? The migration of the floristic element, कोई भी flowers का जो seed है या फिर seed का जो movement है from one place to another is known as migration. So the movement of floristic element from one places to another is said to be the migration. So you must know at least the definition of the migration, and this migration is occurring naturally. You have seen the migration of seed, you have seen the migration of fruit. So for this migration there are several factors which are affecting this migration, and one of the factor is the wind. हमें पता है by means of wind migration also takes place. Not only the wind, sometimes water current is also responsible for the migration, and you have seen certain sometimes through moving animals also. Most of them the grazers, normally when they used to graze, certain seeds get attached to their coat or the you can say their skin, and when they used to transfer from one place to another, the seed again it went into the soil and then it grows into a new plant. So in this way sometimes the animals are also responsible for the migration of the seed. So sometimes migratory birds they also carry the seed. So in this way we can say that migration is a natural process which takes place, and there are several agencies which are responsible for this migration. So just now we have seen the intertidal zone. Next we are going to see what are the different type of organisms which are present in the marine or marine region. Or marine organisms are normally they are classified into 3 types, and depending upon the regions of their activity. ये जो marine region है उसको तीन टाइप में क्लासिफाई किया गया है उनकी एक्टिविटी को कंसिडर करके. वन ऑफ देम दैट इज सेड टू बी द प्लैंक्टॉन्स बोलते हैं, दूसरे को नेक्टॉन्स बोलते हैं और तीसरे को हम बेंथॉन्स बोलते हैं. तो व्हाट आर प्लैंक्टॉन्स? दीज आर द ऑर्गेनिजम्स और दीज आर द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. ये जो प्लैंक्टॉन्स होते हैं वो लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते हैं, एंड दे आर प्रेजेंट ऑन द सरफेस लेयर ऑफ द एक्वाटिक हैबिटेट. कोई भी एक्वाटिक हैबिटेट के सरफेस लेयर पे पाए जाते हैं. So if this is the aquatic habitat, you can find out these are the organism which is present on the surface of the aquatic habitat. which normally floats or drift passively along with the water currents. या तो float करते हैं या फिर drift करते हैं according to the water current. Next is the nectons. What are nectons? These are the these organisms normally has well developed locomotory organs. ये जो nectons होते हैं उनके well developed locomotory organs होते हैं, ऑर्गन्स होते हैं एंड दे आर दी एक्टिव स्विमर्स. अच्छी तरह उनके पास लोकोमोटरी मतलब लोकेशन के लिए ऑर्गन्स होते हैं स्विमिंग के लिए. सो दे आर सेड टू बी द एक्टिव स्विमर बोल सकते हैं. एंड दे आर प्रेजेंट आइदर ऑन द सरफेस और डीप इनटू द वाटर. या तो वो सरफेस पे प्रेजेंट होते हैं, नहीं तो खूब डीप इनसाइड द वाटर प्रेजेंट होते हैं. एंड दी ऑर्गन आर फैगोट्रॉफिक एंड फीड्स ऑन द फाइटोप्लैंक्टन. ये क्या करते हैं, जो ऑर्गेनिज्म यहाँ प्रेजेंट रहते हैं, नेक्ट्रॉन्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं लोकोमोटरी ऑर्गन होने के कारण, दे फीड ऑन दी फाइटोप्लैंक्टन्स और स्मॉल नेक्ट्रॉन्स, छोटे मोटे नेक्ट्रॉन्स पे वो डिपेंड करते हैं. नेक्स्ट कमिंग अप टू द बेंथॉन्स. Benthons. Benthons, these are the organism which are present at the bottom. डीप रीजन में ये प्रेजेंट होते हैं, ये बेंथॉन्स हैं. Benthons. So these are the organism which are present at the bottom and which are usually sessile. Sessile मतलब कि उनके लोकोमोटरी ऑर्गन जो होते हैं अच्छी तरह डेवलप नहीं होते हैं. Sessile मतलब हाथ पैर नहीं होते हैं. Creeping, they has got an activity of creep करते हैं, स्लाइड करके चलते हैं और क्रॉलिंग करते हैं. ये नॉर्मली स्कैवेंजर्स होते हैं या फिर डिकम्पोजर्स हो सकते हैं. दीज आर द नॉर्मली component of the benthons. So you can say that benthons may be the decomposers or the scavengers. So according to the activity and region of activity, कौन से region में कौन से organism की activity होती है उसके अनुसार they are divided into 3 types. That is planktons, ये normally topmost surface पे पाए जाते हैं, living होते हैं. Next is nectons because they have gotten locomotory organ, that's why they can easily swim. They are active swimmers. And benthons are normally consisting of the decomposers. They normally scavenge, खुद शिकार नहीं करते हैं, but they depends on the dead organic matter and they used to grow. So in this way we have seen what are the different region of the intertidal zone, what is intertidal zone, what are the different type of marine organisms, and what are the continental shelf or EEZ. So see you in the next lecture. Thank you for watching.